It's day 2, the last day of the Internet Retailer Conference in Chicago. It's been a good show. Sellers are pleased with the sessions that they've attended. They're here to learn how to grow their business, and there are over 400 vendors in the exhibit hall helping them with FaceTime so they can see how their services can help them in their business, from email marketing to shopping carts, you name it. So we're on day 2. The keynotes are about to kick off. Tilenius is one of the highlights. She's a former eBay executive who has moved to Google, and she'll be talking about Google's plans in the e-commerce space.
We think there are 3 things we need to be partnering on. 1 is enabling you to be found. 2 is making your ads really useful. And 3 is helping create a seamless shopping experience. So I'm going to go through each one of these, but the notion is that today's retail experience is going to get richer and richer, and the HTML5 and evolution of the web as well as the mobile is enabling the combination of these trends such that if you don't innovate and you stand still, your competition is going to take share away from you. And if you look at what's happening online, it's about 70% of online shopping starts at B2C retailers. And 30% starts at eBay, Amazon, and Google. And so the B2C side is actually growing. So really we believe that it's time for websites and mobile websites to start innovating again. And we think there's been some great growth in e-commerce, but there really hasn't been enough innovation in the last few years. 2/3 of the world's population, 4.6 billion people, have mobile phones. And there is an explosion of smartphones going on. So today, 1 in 5 people in the United States has a smartphone. Just a year ago, it was 1 in 10. And Android, our open operating platform, has been a huge part of that success. We have 65 partners, and we're shipping 100,000 devices a day and growing faster than the Apple iPhone platform. And this is really leading to the emergence of the mobile web. In fact, half of all internet connections now are from mobile devices.
Throughout the presentation, you always talk about the biggest e-retailers in the market, like Best Buy, Sears. What is Google doing for smaller ones?
Same thing. That's a good question. So the question is, what is Google doing for smaller ones? We serve the whole gamut. We're doing the same. I mean, everyone can participate, and all the products I showed you are available for all merchants of all sizes.
So can we upload inventory?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You can participate in everything I showed.
I was curious, you didn't mention anything about Google Checkout, and I was wondering what Google's commitment is to that platform. And then secondly, will we ever see transactions actually happening on Google properties?
Those are all really good questions. So I'm, I'm about 3 months into the job, and so I'm not going to unveil our new checkout strategy. Just so suffice it to say, we're still going to grow checkout. I do think we have a lot of work ahead of us to figure out what the right strategy is for checkout, and whether we do commerce on Google. And we're trying to listen, frankly, to many of you, and we'd like to know, is that something you'd like?
Hi, Stephanie. With Google entering the retailing space versus providing information, how do you go about overall avoiding the conflict that since all the retailers are providing Google such valuable information that long-term disintermediation is fairly feasible?
Well, so we're not a retailer. We're partnering. So everything I showed you today is enabling retailers to use our platform to drive their own sales. I did get a question, I think, earlier about whether people want to buy on Google, and that's a question I would ask back to the audience. Is that something that, we don't have any plans to do that right now. But it's something that we get a lot of questions about, so I'm always eager to hear points of view about it. But right now, we're not a retailer. We're competing with many of you.
Would Google ever consider a CPA model versus CPC or CPM?
We're testing a CPA model right now on the upper right with the product ads, the ones I showed you where you can give us a product feed and you can provide much more detailed image and pricing information. And we're going to see how that goes. We're testing that with a handful of retailers right now, and we hope to evolve it.
With all the product offerings Are there any plans for a more approachable customer service department for Google?
We have increased our, my understanding is that we got a lot of feedback on driving better visibility for accounts for advertising and really helping merchants scale their advertising. We've actually increased our account coverage quite a bit, but I will continue to push on that and make sure that we've got the right service levels.
I'm curious, just after a couple months at Google, what's the difference you're seeing in attitude towards e-commerce at Google versus at eBay?
What's the difference between, speak up?
Just the attitude towards e-commerce.
Attitude towards e-commerce.
Or what changes do you see? Attitudes is a good way to say it.
I don't think the attitude towards e-commerce is that different in the sense that I think both companies are very eager to grow e-commerce and to figure out what to do to partner. I would say that Google tends to be across, it's a bigger company, so it's across a wider platform, right? So we have the Android platform, we have the Chrome platform, we have advertising and other businesses we're in, and we're trying to figure out the best way to help retailers. And so we just have a more scalable model where we can innovate faster.
Okay, thanks.